Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about HTML tags and elements. Alright, let's get right into it. So I'm going to open this codes folder using the Visual Studio Code editor. So I'll click on open with code and then it takes me right there. I'm going to create an HTML file over here. So I'll click on this icon and then I'll click and then I'm going to type the name of my HTML file and I will append the HTML extension to my HTML file. So having done that, I will now start inserting the basic structure of an HTML document inside my HTML file. So you remember the drill, we learned about this in the previous video before this. So first thing we insert is the doc type declaration. Doc type comes first, after which we insert the HTML tags or the HTML elements. Then we insert the head tags or the head elements, and within which we are going to insert the title of our web page. So the title of our web page is going to be the same as the title of this video or what we're learning in this video, which will be HTML tags and elements. Now what comes next will be the body of our HTML documents. So body comes next. So having done this, I'm going to explain some things about the HTML tags and elements. So I'm going to pop this picture over here. Now, structure of HTML tags. So in HTML, we have what we call container tags as well as empty tags. Now, container tags are such that they have an opening tag and a closing tag within which they have a content, or within which the content is being contained or enclosed. So they are called container tags because of obviously they contain or they enclose the content, and this what comes here is always the opening tag, and what comes is always the closing tag. And what differentiates the opening tag from the closing tag is the presence of the forward slash in the closing tag. So that is what container tags are all about. And we also have what we call the empty tag, and for empty tags they follow this structure or this syntax. So empty tags are such that they don't contain or they don't hold or enclose any content. So you can go ahead to write empty tags this way or this way and you will still be correct. This syntax has always been correct in HTML versions, while this syntax is correct in modern HTML versions, which of course includes HTML5 as well as in XHTML. So in a nutshell, you can use this syntax or this structure to indicate empty tags in your HTML documents. Alright, having said that, you need to know that the name of a tag or a tag name is the same thing as the name of the element or the element's name. So say this is a tag which has a name of, in this case, tag name. It means that the name of the element is the same thing as what you see inside this angle brackets. I'm going to explain all of this in a jiffy by using examples in our Visual Studio Code editor. Alright, let's go back to our code editor. So back to it. I talked about container tags as well as empty tags. So as you can see, we have a bunch of tags here, and these tags you see here happen to be good examples of container tags. So this HTML tag is a container tag, and it starts with an opening tag as well as a closing tag, and then it contains some contents, hence it's called a container tag. And the same thing applies to this head tag as well as this title tags you see over here, as well as the body tag you see over here. But there are still a lot of container tags apart from these ones, and I'm going to give you a few of them. So we have what we call the h1 tag. The h1 tag is such that it is a container tag, so as such it contains content. So I'm going to insert a heading over here. I'm going to copy the part of this file so that I can render this HTML document on a web browser. So to do that, I will take my cursor over here. I'll take my cursor over here, and then I'll right click on the file, and then I'll go to copy paths, not relative paths, copy paths. I can click on it, or I can choose to use this shortcut over here, which is Shift Alternate C. So I'll click on it. So having done that, I'm going to go to a web browser. Then I'll insert the part of the HTML file, and then I'll hit enter. So as you can see, it renders my HTML file, my HTML document just fine. So this h1 tag is such that it contains the content, and it's such that it makes the content or the text that appears within it this big and this bold. So that's the function of the h1 tag. We also have other examples of heading tags. This h1 tag you see over here is known as a heading tag, and we also have other examples of heading tags. So I'm going to duplicate this like 2 more times, and then I'll come over here and make some corrections. So I'm going to select this h1 and this h1 at the same time. So I'll do that by highlighting this to h1, this h1 you're seeing over here, and then I'll press Ctrl D once. So as you can see, it has selected both this h1 and this h1, and then I can go ahead to make my changes. So I'm going to be changing this one over here. So I'll take my cursor this way, and then I'll press backspace, and then I'll press 2. So as you can see, the change has been reflected on both the opening tag and the closing tag. So I'll do the same thing over here. Highlight, Ctrl D, remove, and then 3. So now I've been able to insert other heading tags in my HTML document. So apart from the h1 tag, we have other heading tags, and some other examples of them are the h2 and h3 tags. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to refresh the web browser, and then you can see the result over here. So these are examples of container tags, and apart from these ones, we also have what we call the paragraph tag. So if I go into that, all heading tags fall under or are examples of container tags, and heading tags are called such because of they are used as headings before the text that follow them. So having said that, I'm going to talk about the paragraph tag. The paragraph tag is also another example of a container tag. So the paragraph tag is such that it is used to hold paragraphs in your HTML document or your web page. So I'm going to insert a bunch of junk text in here. So I'm inserting Latin words in here, and I want to insert 20 Latin words. So I do that by spelling lorem and then inserting the number of Latin words I want. So I want 20 Latin words, so I'll write 20 over here, and then I'll hit enter. So I have 20 Latin words in my code editor. Now this, like I said, is a container tag. So I'm going to save and then refresh in the browser, and I'll see the result over here. These are examples of container tags: the paragraph tag, the h3 tag, the h2 tag, as well as the h1 tags are known as the container tag. Why? Because they happen to hold or contain content, hence they are called or known as container tags. Now over to the second category of tags, which are known as empty tags. Like I said, they don't hold any content, hence they are known as empty tags. So an example of empty tag I'm going to give you is the break line tag, is the BR tag. So this BR tag is such that it inserts a new line at the point where the tag is being placed. Now check this out. At this point where this word elite is spelled, I'm going to insert a new line over here, and that is possible by using the BR tag. So I'll come over here and then I insert BR over here. So this BR stands for break line. So once I save the HTML document and then I refresh the web page, you can see that a new line has been inserted inside there. So this is being made possible because of the break line tag. So this break line tag you see over here is an example of an empty tag, and as you see, it holds no content. It only has the name of the tag and then this angle brackets here and here. And as you can see, this syntax also works, which I talked about in the picture I showed you. This is it over here. So back to our code editor. The break line tag is an example of an empty tag because it doesn't hold any content, just the name of the tag or the name of the element. Alright, I have been talking about tags all this while. Something you need to know is that the combination of an opening tag, a content, and the closing tag. So what you see over here is known as the h3 element, and like I said, the name of the tag is the same as the name of the element. So this is a h3 element, this is a h2 element, and this is also a h1 element. Same thing with the paragraph tag. This is a paragraph element, this is also a break line element, or a BR elements rather. So that's all for the container tags and the empty tags. Eventually, in videos to come or in subsequent videos, I'm going to give more examples of tags in HTML, and I'm going to show you how these tags are being used. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about is nesting of tags in the HTML documents. In a HTML document, tags are such that they can be nested, and when you nest tags, you have to do such in a way that you nest them correctly, because if they are not nested correctly, it can affect how your web page is rendered, or it can cause some unexpected issues or results in your web page. So I'm going to show you how to nest tags in a jiffy. I'm going to create another tag over here. So we also have another container tag we call the div tag, or the div element. So within this, I'm going to insert another tag inside here as well, which is the paragraph tag. Alright, so I'll still insert some junk text inside there. So this time I'm going to insert 15 Latin words. So that's that. Now I'm also going to insert another tag in here, which also happens to be a container tag. So this tag I'm inserting is known as the anchor tag. So I'm going to insert some text inside here. I'll write an anchor tag, and I'm going to replace this with this. I'll save these changes and then I'll render my web page. So this is the result of what I have written in my HTML document. So as you can see, this anchor tag is such that it represents what we insert inside it as its content, as a link. So I wrote an anchor tag in here, and it happens to appear as a link over here in our web page. As you can see over here, we have nested quite a good number of tags inside the div tag. So this div tag is a container tag that holds or contains the paragraph tag, and then contains an anchor tag. So as you can see how they are nested, it's such that the innermost tags are always closed first before the outer tags are being closed, until the outermost tags are being closed. So this is how you should nest tags. You should always ensure that you close the inner tags first before you go to the outer tags. So taking this paragraph tag over here happens to be wrong, because this paragraph tag happens to be an inner tag compared to this div tag. So this is wrong, and saving it and rendering the web page, there's no visible consequence over here, but you should know that this is not how HTML tags should be nested. So always ensure that you always close the inner tags first before you close the outer tags. So doing that is the correct way you nest tags, the correct syntax or the correct structure of tag nesting you should follow when trying to nest your tags. If you found what I have talked about in this video helpful, don't hesitate to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell for alerts and updates on more web development videos like this. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.